Nation, what is good? I need 100 likes. I need 100 likes.
100.
What is good? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's up? What's going on, my people? Welcome to another edition of Run It Back Philly Live. It is Wednesday, May 14th. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and I hope maybe this show makes your day better. Yeah. What did I just do? I just clicked on something. Yeah, thanks for being here. We are going to talk about a couple of things. Some NBA things. Our boy, Podcast P has returned to the podcasting world. We got to touch on that for a minute. Pause. We're going to talk about Ace Bailey, Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper, and a sleeper in the NBA Draft Combine, and whatever else you guys want to talk about. Thank you for being here. Shout out to the members in the building. My guy RJ, Papa Grass. Shout out to everybody else in the chat. Crowley 26, Chris Ackerman, Rookie Rook, Rodrigo Montez. Crawley says the pick is Ace. Stop overthinking it. The team isn't winning now, so stop thinking that too. I agree with that. I completely agree with that. I think that's people's main problem with the NBA draft. Somebody put it perfectly yesterday. They said, I think people confuse the draft with NBA free agency. You know, like you'll look at a prospect and we'll be like, we should take Ace Bailey at 3, or we should take VJ Edgecomb, or we should take, and they'll be like, oh, how's that gonna help us? We need, dude, it's not. They're 18 years old, man. 18 years old, man. Why are you guys so crazy when it comes to 18-year-old prospects, man? People know for a fact that Cooper Flagg's going to be a role player. Somebody said that in the chat yesterday. You know, I just, man, some of y'all need to go apply to be NBA scouts, because when the NBA scouts find out that you have all the answers, they're going to be hyped, dude. They're going to be like, what? John Smith, 67,472 with the egg emoji avatar on Twitter, knew all the answers the whole time? Dude, when they find out that John 7642 has all the answers and thinks Cooper Flagg's going to be a role player, the Dallas Mavericks are going to be like, oh, we're trading the pick. We're not, we didn't know. Bro, John 67425 told us that Cooper Flagg is going to be a role player. You know? Hoops Reference on Twitter. I want to call him out again because yesterday he told me that I don't. He said that I haven't watched Ace Bailey play basketball, and that bothers me because I like to have sports discussions and we should be fine, disagreeing with each other or having a difference of opinion. Hoops Reference on Twitter, and he's a YouTuber with 200,000 subscribers. I only know that because it says it in his bio. I'm not going to talk about what it means when somebody lists their amount of subscribers in their bio, but the way that he's coming off about Ace Bailey on Twitter is just odd to me. It's like an angry 12-year-old, and this is supposed to be somebody who watches the game, analyzes the game, and understands the game. So my problem with it is, when you see a player's weaknesses at 18 years old, why are you setting it in stone? There's people posting clips of all of the worst shots that he's taken, like shooting over a double team or fading away out of bounds. And they're 18, guys. They're 18 years old. And when I say Ace Bailey's ceiling is Kevin Durant, the reason I say Kevin Durant is because that's the ceiling. Are we missing what a ceiling is? The ceiling is the top, the best possible outcome. And somebody said, well, that's his elite ceiling. What? It's a ceiling, bro. It's only one thing. It's the freaking top, dude. You got to think of what's the ceiling? What's the best thing he could possibly turn into? The probability of that isn't high. Of course it's not high. But that's the ceiling. I just don't get it. Let me put this into perspective. Somebody else came at me yesterday and said, Ace Bailey is not Paul George. He's not Jason Tate. You know what? Let me find it, bro, because I'm going to find it because this is another somebody that I'm going to call out a little bit, man, because this is somebody that also kind of comes across as like, I thought this account was a kid. Somebody on Twitter just being an angry troll, But this is a writer for Liberty Ballers. And that I don't understand how writers and people that watch the game this much and make videos on the game, I don't understand how they can have this much of a negative outlook on an 18-year-old prospect. But anyway, I'm not going to be able to find it right now because there's a ton of tweets there. But what he said was, Sixers fans are comparing Ace Bailey to Paul George and Jason Tatum. LMAO, there is no helping these people. That's what he said. Why are we skipping over the whole development thing, Was Paul George some kind of world-renowned generational talent prospect? This guy was the 10th pick in the draft in 2010. Ace Bailey is a bigger prospect than Paul George was. But because Paul George became what he was throughout his career, not what he is in Philly right now, but what he was in Indiana and some of the years in OKC and LA, maybe? Not really. You for some reason put that player on a pedestal, and then you look at other players who were in his position at 18 years old, and for some reason say that player can't also become that. I'm just confused by it. Paul George was the 10th pick in the draft in 2010. Ace Bailey is going to be the 3rd pick in the draft. Ace Bailey is literally statistically a better prospect right now than Paul George was during the draft. Why are we skipping over the whole possibility of development? I'm just confused. And then you say you can't compare him to Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, there's no helping Sixers fans if they think Ace Bailey is going to become Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum was the second leading scorer on his Duke Blue Devils basketball team. Do you know who the leading scorer was on that basketball team? Luke Kennard. And y'all probably during the 2016 draft, or 17 draft, I'm sorry, y'all probably said the same thing. Y'all are overrating Jason Tatum. The guy you gotta pick at 3 is Luke Kennard. Look what he's doing in college. You know what I'm saying, bro? We're just drafting players on potential and upside, man. It's just the discourse is insane, and everybody that thinks they can predict the future is annoying. 209 people in here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Would you trade Paul George, McCain, and number 3 to the Raptors for Scotty Barnes and number 9? Absolutely not. Are you what? Bruh. What? So I'm giving up Jared McCain, who just averaged 27 points per game as a starter, as a rookie. I watched that kid drop 34 and 10 against the Cavaliers with nobody around him. I watched that kid do everything you could possibly do on the court from a young 20-year-old guard. I wouldn't trade Jared McCain for Scotty Barnes straight up right now. And then I'm giving up the number 3 pick on top of that? Nah. And that's the thing people keep doing with the Paul George and Joel Embiid thing, because they want to get rid of Paul George so bad. You can't give up future talent just to get rid of terrible contracts. Because look at it this way. Basically, if you don't think Paul George is going to work out in Philly, right? If you think Paul George is washed and Paul George is a bum, which I'll agree with you, then you're not going to win in the next 3 years anyway. He has 3 years left on his contract. Why are we so hype to get off of the Paul George contract that we're going to give up young players and prospects? Why wouldn't you just say Paul George sucks, Joel Embiid has one leg, they're signed until 2029, so let's keep all of our young guys and draft picks and develop all of these guys until Joel Embiid and Paul George retire. You know what I mean? I just don't get it, because if you give them up, you're not winning anyway, so why not just keep the dead contracts and develop young players and, I don't know, keep it moving, man. That's how I see it. We drafted Fultz. We will this up too. Perfect example for my entire point, Paul. Everybody leading up to that 2017 draft was talking about one player and one player only. They were talking about Markelle Fultz. He was the top prospect in that draft. He was averaging 31 points per game at Washington on 40% pull up off the dribble, 41% from 3. Elite finishing at the rim, up and under, through traffic, right hand, left hand, 360 spin. That dude looked like a 6'5" Kyrie Irving. And all you could do is draft him based off of his potential. And his potential was NBA superstar. His ceiling was NBA superstar. 6'5", 220, with the ability to score on all 3 levels at an elite level. You just had to assume that Markelle Fultz had the highest ceiling in the entire draft by a landslide. Nobody was screaming Jason Tatum at Duke. He was the second leading scorer on that team behind Luke Kennard. He got drafted because he's 6'9" and had the tools to develop into a great NBA wing. And he developed into a great NBA wing. But that you can't go back and say, we should have drafted Jason Tatum. That's not how it works. It's a crapshoot, man. You just take your best guess. That's all you can do, is take your best guess with the information provided. Hayden, Azanaro, thank you for being a member of the channel for 3 months. Teacher Got Game. The only trade I'd entertain is Paul George, pick 3, and maybe McCain. For Lauri Markkanen, Cody Kessler, Jordan Clarkson, and pick 5 for Utah. Why? Why? Again, if you add Lauri Markkanen to this team right now, are they winning? Are they winning? Lauri is a dog. Lauri Markkanen averaged 17 points per game last season on a bad team. 17! Does a dog that's talked about as much as Lauri Markkanen is talked about average 17 points per game when he's supposed to be the guy, when he has the freedom to do whatever he wants on a bad team? Does he average 17 points per game? But my back to this, my question is, if you trade McCain, number 3, and Paul George for Lauri Markkanen, Cody Kessler, Jordan Clarkson, are you winning? No. Because Joel Embiid's not healthy. If you knew for a fact that Joel Embiid was healthy and was going to be healthy and was going to remain healthy and be in MVP form this season, then maybe you say Lauri Markkanen is going to push us over the top. But you can't do that with the unknown about Joel Embiid, man. You just can't do that with the unknown about Joel Embiid. Bailey has too much upside not to take him. You can't improve your handle and driving. You can improve your handle and driving to the basket. That pull-up J and rise is pure. Exactly. Exactly. Everything can be improved. You know, these same people were saying Tyrese Maxey can't shoot. You shouldn't take Tyrese Maxey. He shot 29% at Kentucky. And what did he do? He went in the gym. He shot the ball a fuck ton of times every day. And he came back year 2 and was a 42% three-point shooter. That's it for me. You know what I mean? And we're gonna look at the draft combine stuff. But first, we have an announcement in the 76ers community. We have an announcement to make in the podcasting community. This applies to me greatly in both areas as a 76ers fan and a YouTuber / podcaster. Paul George announced that he is returning to podcasting. Oh! The GOAT is back. Paul George, ladies and gentlemen, for all of us that were devastated, and sad and depressed that the greatest podcast ever created from one of the best NBA players to ever walk the earth, for those of us that were sad and depressed that the Paul George podcast had to commence so that he could focus on winning a championship with the 76ers last year when they were 5-25. For those of us that were depressed, but we understood the mission at hand. We understood that Paul George had to put his podcast on the back burner because the 76ers at 5-25 were on their way to a championship and he needed to focus. And then he went out with a pinky injury for 6 months. For those of us that were depressed and sad that the Paul George podcast was put on the back burner, may we rejoice today. The Podcast P show with Paul George, which doesn't make any sense because Paul George is Podcast P, so why is it called Podcast P with Paul George? Is that 2 people or 1 person? It's back. May we rejoice. And let's hear what Paul George had to say about his return to the podcasting universe.
You took a break from podcasting. Why is it important to do it and bring it back now?
I'm not a person that run away from anything. You know what I mean? Like, my dad kind of instilled that you face your problems and you move on from it. It's there and it's gone. And the reason I took the hiatus was more so I wanted to get my body healthy. I wasn't mentally there in a time of where we were at, the team, me dealing with injuries. I wasn't in a space of being jolly and happy. And, you know, obviously we had topics and guests to talk with, but it wasn't much for me to talk about just because of where I was at. So now it's
kind of like you should probably only do a podcast when you're done playing basketball, maybe.
obviously this summer, my downtime. I'm training, focusing on my body. I did procedures to get ready for this next season and kind of just want to touch back with my fan base. It was important for us to kind of start this back up, to just give back to the people, man. That's what I always inspire to do. Is
Did he just say, give back to the people? Thank you so much, Paul George, for giving back to the people. You know what you could do to give back to the people, Paul George? You could play more than 20 games this upcoming season. And maybe in a couple of games when Joel Embiid is inevitably injured, you could step up and put in a little bit of effort. Huh? Yeah, that's what you could do to give back to the people. Now, when he quit podcasting, he said that he wanted to focus on a championship. Now he says he stopped podcasting because he wasn't mentally right.
Or so I wanted to get my body healthy. I wasn't mentally there in a time of where we were at, the team, me dealing with injuries. I wasn't in a space of being jolly. And
yes, I agree with that. When you're losing and everything's going wrong, you probably shouldn't be podcasting. But that's why active NBA players shouldn't be podcasters in the first place, because with this logic, then you can only podcast when you're winning and everything's going great. You were catching heat from 76ers fans because you were sitting out with pinky injuries and strained groins and all this stuff, and then going on and doing a podcast talking to Reggie Jackson about the Oklahoma City Thunder or what's next for the Sixers. You getting on the court is what's next for... I'm not angry anymore about Paul George or the whole situation. It's hilarious to me. This is a South Park episode. I swear to God, if South Park made an episode about how delusional and disconnected from reality rich NBA players are, this would be part of that episode. It's just unbelievable that Paul George is playing a character on a TV show, but he's being dead serious.
Happy, and obviously we had topics and guests to talk with, but it wasn't much for me to talk.
All right, let's look at the replies. Bro, just focus on doing what it takes the Sixers win games. It's impossible to defend this dude as a Sixers fan. Can't believe he's on my team. Trade his ass. It's not like you're hooping up to par, so you better do something to set up your post career. He wanted the same amount of money as Kawhi. It would be just as successful as his Sixers career. Paul George said, if I'm not making the finals, I'm making content. He's about to drop 30 minutes on zone defense and 10 on skincare routine. I don't really know what that means. Can't take Paul George seriously after he asked for, yeah. And that's really why they stopped the Podcast P show, because the Philly fans were destroying it on YouTube. And his last uploaded video had 2,500 dislikes. Let me go find that, actually, because, dude, it's a lot. Actually, I can't. It won't show dislikes. I had to use an app to find that. But his last uploaded video on YouTube had 200 likes and 2,500 plus dislikes, and that's why they stopped the podcast. All right, now Paul George commented on the 76ers season, and we got to hear this before we move on.
I credit the locker room, man. I think through all the tough times that we had, man, we just stuck together and was like, just try to make the most out of this.
Y'all sitting down next to the locker and it's like, big dog, I can't go tonight.
They put music behind it to try to get me caught up.
Can't go tomorrow night. I can't go next week. Like, damn, how we gonna win? What's those conversations like with all that talent sitting in one locker room?
In that situation, you felt for the big fella.
We've seen you be at the height of your game. We've seen Joel do that. We've seen Tyrese Maxey do that. And our eyes don't deceive us. This is championship level individual players. Cohesively, they should be able to win.
What were some of them false narratives that you wanted to give clarity on?
Ooh, what were some of those false narratives that you want to give clarity on? Let's hear this. Oh, you son of a... I guess I gotta listen to the full episode, don't I? Yeah, just to let you guys know, Podcast P has made his return to the podcasting world. So may we rejoice for all of us that direly missed his podcast. Now, I forgot to put the Tyrese Maxey thing up here, man. Tyrese Maxey tweeted last night. Oh, yeah, it's officially the offseason. We're talking about people tweeting. Tyrese Maxey, while watching the NBA playoffs last night, I'm assuming, said, y'all deserve to be in the playoffs, and we got to work to get there. Sixers fans, I love y'all. Never change. See, Tyrese Maxey's going to put in that work, and Tyrese Maxey's going to give you that effort night in and night out. He might go 3 for 35. You know? One thing you're never going to say about Tyrese Maxey is he quit. One thing you're never going to say about Tyrese Maxey is he showed up and didn't give effort. He showed up and jogged around and looked like he was playing on a Sunday afternoon at the park. You're never going to say that about Tyrese Maxey. He tried last year. I mean, the whole roster fell apart and he was out there chucking 30 shots a game. It wasn't the prettiest basketball ever, and his numbers are what they are because of it. You are never going to question Tyrese Maxey's love for the game and his effort, his flat-out effort and dedication. He's always going to give 100%. And this is what he thinks of in the offseason after a season like that. He thinks of, we got to go in next year and we got to get back into playoffs because the fans deserve it. Shout out to our boy Tyrese Maxey, man. Shout out to our boy Tyrese. What else did I want to talk about before I talk about the draft combine? What y'all talking about in the chat? Nick Marchetti, what's up, man? Read comments on this tweet. Yeah, I did that, I think. Maxey gets 0 passes going forward. I need to see it, not hear it. What did he do last year that granted him 0 passes? Was Tyrese Maxey supposed to take Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon, Kelly Oubre, and a couple of G Leaguers to the NBA playoffs? You know, you just got to look at it like, remember all the years that, remember all the years that everybody talked about how great Damian Lillard was, right? But the Portland Trailblazers were never good. I mean, he did put the Warriors away in the second round of the playoffs of one year, right? Not the Warriors. Yeah, the Warriors. But yeah, Tyrese Maxey, man, he needs the right situation, man. He's not LeBron James. He's not Michael Jordan. He's not going to take a bunch of nobodies to the NBA Finals. I don't think, I think we get caught up in that, man. I think people think you're not great if you don't do the absolute impossible. Tyrese Maxey's a really, really, really good player. He's an NBA All-Star. He averaged 26 points per game 2 years ago as an NBA All-Star. He averaged 28 last season before he got injured. He needs to be in the right situation. You know? That's all there is to it. Again, not Michael Jordan, not LeBron James, not Kobe Bryant, not any of those guys. But he's an NBA All-Star. He's that good. and he needs to be respected. And hopefully we see some progress in this team this upcoming season. I don't know how we're going to see that progress, but well, I don't know, man. Joel Embiid being healthy, I guess. Nick Nurse said some things yesterday on the radio, and one of them is very interesting because he either misspoke or he said something about Joel Embiid that is not good. Nick Nurse said this on the radio yesterday, Mike Gill show. I don't know what radio station that's on, but he said everyone's going number one, talking about the draft. So with this quote, you can throw out the VJ Edgecomb predictions. You can throw out the kid from Texas. You can throw out they should draft Knepel out of Duke. They should draft whoever. You can throw it all out the window. Nick Nurse is putting it out right here who the 76ers are going to draft in this NBA draft. Everyone knows who's going number one, which, by the way, there's people every day saying, I would take this player over Cooper Flagg. I would do this. I would do that. Cooper Flagg's going number one, whether the Twitter scouts like it or not. And then we got one team that can pick one of the two other guys that we want. He's talking about the San Antonio Spurs, and he's talking about Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey. That's who he's talking about because Daryl Morey already said we're going to take the best player available. Everybody knows those are the top three prospects. Whether you want to go on Twitter and do a tirade about how Knepel or somebody else should be number three, that's not how the NBA scouts see it. It's basically set in stone right now. Nick Nurse lets you know right here. Cooper Flagg's going number one. The San Antonio Spurs are either going to take Dylan Harper or Ace Bailey, and we're going to take whichever one of them they don't take. So there you have it. It's either Dylan Harper or Ace Bailey. It's really all up to the San Antonio Spurs on what they want to do. Do they find Dylan Harper to be that big of a prospect that they draft him even while having De'Aaron Fox and Stephen Castle? Or do they say, we have De'Aaron Fox and Stephen Castle, we have Wemby, we want a wing prospect that we can fit with those guys on the floor? Do the Spurs go Ace Bailey at number two? And if they do, the Sixers draft Dylan Harper, even though the 76ers have Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain. I think Dylan Harper is a big enough prospect that you draft him anyway, and Daryl Morey already told us that's what he's going to do. We got another super chat here. 100,000. Paul McCain and a first for the Greek Freak. I think Paul McCain in the third pick in this draft for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't think that competes with other offers out there, man. I just there's too many teams that are going to have big. If Giannis Antetokounmpo is up for trade this year, which it looks like he's going to be, it's going to be one of the biggest returns for a player you've ever seen. Because, number one, he's not asking out. He's not causing some kind of disruption. He's not refusing to come to training camp. He's not doing all this stuff that would lower a player's trade value, right? It's not one of these situations like the Damian Lillard situation where he's being an asshole and telling him he wants to go to a specific team, which kind of takes the value away because other teams don't want to give up too much for a player that doesn't want to be there. This is a player who's respected, who's been loyal to his organization, who's been one of the best players in the league now for a long time, who's still in his prime, has a good amount of years left of playing at the highest level in the league, top 3 player level in the league. All the signs point to if Giannis Antetokounmpo is available for trade, he's going to bring back one of the biggest hauls you'll ever see in the history of an NBA trade, which should have been the Luka Doncic trade. But for some reason, they just went, oh, we'll just take Anthony Davis in a first and give him to the Lakers. And I'm not supposed to think that was rigged, and then they end up with Cooper Flagg in the draft. I mean, come on, bro. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. But nah, I don't think I don't think a terrible Paul George contract, Jared McCain, and Ace Bailey get you Giannis Antetokounmpo. But even if it did, what are we really doing here? I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love Giannis and Maxey together. I think that's two different styles and two elite athletes at different positions. That would be a dynamic offense and Giannis's defense also. But like Giannis and Embiid together, is that what we're talking about? I don't know, man. That's a lot. And I don't think it gets it done anyway, man. I don't think it gets it done anyway. Nick Nurse also said this. Nick Nurse on 97.3 ESPN reflecting on this season after the Tyrese Maxey injury. Joel decided he wasn't going to play the rest of the year. Tyrese got hurt, and at that point you were kind of like, this is not our year. Why did he say it like that? Here's what happened, guys. Joel decided he wasn't going to play. Tyrese Maxey got hurt, and then you were kind of like, this isn't our year. And that makes sense going back on all of the stuff that was rumored and to have happened with the Shams reports about Joel being frustrated and going directly to ownership. Is that Nick Nurse throwing Joel Embiid under the bus a little bit right there? Joel decided he wasn't going to play? So Joel Embiid's coming back from the surgery, right? He has knee swelling. They're trying to play him into shape. This is where that whole report came from, where Shams basically said Joel Embiid was frustrated with the 76ers front office and went straight to Josh Harris and said, hey, I can't play. I have knee swelling. I'm in extreme pain every day. They're trying to force me to play. I can't play. So it seems like that rumor was true because Nick Nurse says Joel decided he wasn't going to play, and then Tyrese got hurt. And at that point, you were kind of like, this is not our year. I don't think Tyrese got hurt. I think they sat him and they started to sit everybody once they decided, we can't win games with this roster the way it is right now. We might as well tank it out. But so Joel has a knee swelling. Nick Nurse is trying to play him back into shape. And then he says Joel decided he wasn't going to play the rest of the year. I mean, I guess it's true. That's the rumor that Shams said. Joel was like, hey, I can't play. But Nurse is kind of saying that Joel wasn't hurt. He just decided he wasn't good. It's a terrible way to word it. He should have probably thought about how he was going to say that. I don't know. Am I thinking too much about this? Dude, you're being paid $70 million. Grow up and lace up. Well, I mean, if he had pain in his knee and knee swelling, what's he supposed to do? Joel's 30 years old. Is he supposed to play through knee swelling and potentially injure himself even more? Or is he supposed to say, I don't feel right? Like he told ESPN, I need another surgery. He got another surgery, by the way, so he was right the whole time. Something's not right with my knee. I need another surgery. That's what he told ESPN. Or does he play through knee swelling and pain and ruin maybe what he has left in his NBA career? I think it was a tough decision. But I mean, Joel Embiid made the decision that was best for him with the knee swelling. I don't think you can just, you're paid $70 million, lace up. Why wouldn't the Spurs take Ace, and even if they trade a pick, who's to say that team won't take Ace too? Why wouldn't the Spurs take Ace, and even if they trade a pick, who's to say that team won't take Ace too? I don't know what the Spurs are going to do. I have no idea. I don't know what the Spurs are going to do. But we'll see. May 25th or June 25th. I mean, a month and 10 days away. So we got a lot to talk about before the NBA draft. Shout out to 490 people in here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Let's look at some NBA draft combine footage and react to it. We'll go Cooper Flagg. We'll go Ace Bailey. We'll go Dylan Harper. And I guess we'll just give our opinions on things, man. Here's the final combine score values. Cooper Flagg's final combine score values. Cooper Flagg, height without shoes, 6'7.75. Remember, he was listed at 6'9 at Duke. Oh, this is a thing that, you know, is kind of going viral on the social medias right now, is the player's actual height. You know, Ace Bailey was listed as a certain height at Rutgers, and then they measure him with their shoes off here at the NBA Draft Combine, and you get that height. So everyone's saying they lied about his height, and he's not really this height. Cooper Flagg was listed as 6'9 at Duke. He's 6'7.75 with without shoes on. 6'7.75, 221. 7-foot wingspan, standing reach of 8'10". This kid's an incredible prospect. I still don't understand how people are talking about. I still don't understand how some people are claiming that Cooper Flagg is overhyped and he's gonna be Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward. Man, stop it. Cooper Flagg is, in fact, a generational talent. I'm sorry to tell you guys that don't believe that. Just watch what he does year one. Watch what Cooper Flagg does year one in Dallas. Watch what he does year one in Dallas. If you don't believe Cooper Flagg is a generational talent, watch what he does year one in Dallas. And that's what a generational talent is to me. A player that I believe is going to impact the game on an all-star level year one. I don't think Cooper Flagg is a project. I think he's still going to develop even more, which is why he's such a high prospect, because he's an NBA star level player right now. I know people don't want to hear that. He is. This kid was playing against NBA players when he was 16 years old on the USA select team and dominating those runs, bro. Go watch the footage of Cooper Flagg punking NBA, not just NBA players. He was punking NBA stars when he was 16. This is like Luka Doncic dominating the EuroLeague at 16. This kid is that good at that young of an age. That's why that's why he's a unanimous number one. It is what it is. I don't think it's up for debate. But that's Cooper Flagg's official measurements. Now, I think his three-point shot will improve over what it was at Duke. I think everything with him will improve. You don't get that good at that young of an age if you don't have a killer instinct. You don't get that good at that young of an age if you don't have the work ethic. He just has it, man. It's very, very rare for somebody that young to have what Cooper Flagg has. And he's a unanimous number one pick. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes. Shout out to Lord Brunson. This is what you guys want to talk about, right? You want to talk about Ace Bailey and his height. Ace Bailey, because, you know, we're assuming the 76ers will take Ace Bailey at number 3 in the draft if the Spurs take Dylan Harper. We can't predict the future. But Ace Bailey was listed as 6'10 at Rutgers. His combine measurement was 6'7.5". So if we go by Cooper Flagg being listed at 6'9 and measuring out at 6'7.5 in the combine, then I think we have to say these guys are the same height, right? Cooper Flagg was 6'7.5 at the combine. Ace Bailey listed at 6'7.5 in the combine. Actually, Cooper Flagg was 6'7.75, so we're giving Cooper Flagg a quarter of an inch over Ace Bailey. But if we're assuming Cooper Flagg was listed correctly at Duke, then I guess we're saying Ace Bailey is 6'9", and I'm fine with that. That's what I mean. Why are we freaking out over 1 inch? That's what she said. Why? Why are we freaking out over 1 inch, bro? Okay, cool. Ace Bailey, with the raw talent that he has and the tools that I think can be developed into an NBA star, He's 6'9". That's great. You know who I compared him to the first time I watched this tape months ago? Tracy McGrady. You know how tall Tracy McGrady was? 6'8". So you're telling me I get a prospect that I feel like can develop into a Tracy McGrady level player and he has an inch on him? Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take Ace Bailey. I'll take it. But I'm fine with he's not 6'10". That's cool. He's 6'9". We'll see what his official, NBA height listed is. I did put a picture of Ace Bailey next to Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was working out with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm not sure when they were working out, but here's a photo of Ace Bailey standing next to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo is listed at 6'11". Yeah, he's leaning forward a little bit in this photo. But, bruh, Ace Bailey right here. Let's draw a straight line across. Oh, my mouse moved. Let me try again. I'm just saying, if Giannis stands up straight right here, it looks like he's about an inch or two taller than Ace Bailey. And Ace isn't standing straight up either. I'm giving him 6'9", 6'10". I just don't think it's that big of a deal. But he's not. He's 6'7.5" with no shoes on at the combine, which is about an inch and a half shorter than his listed NBA height will be. At that logic, Giannis Antetokounmpo is 6'9.5". You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to watch some of Ace Bailey's. Now I lost my place. Hold up. I wanted to watch some of Ace Bailey's draft stuff. Ace Bailey draft combine. Because there's some jump shot videos in here. Here's his score values. 83.8 at small forward. He also was the number 3 player on the percentages of pull-up jump shots in the combine workout. Here is Ace Bailey on the pull-up jump shots. Let me tell you guys something, man. Let me tell you guys something. At 6'9", that is what I would call perfect jump shot mechanics. And that's all, you know what I'm saying? That's all I need to see, really. That's all I need to see to want to draft a kid. 6'9" and has a pull-up jumper like that, I'll take him. You know? If he's raw, we do our best to develop him. But you got a kid 6'9" that's gonna go 15 for 20 in a shot warm-up and his jump shot mechanics look like that, I'll take him. I don't want to base everything off. That's a perfect jump shot, guys. Guys, that's a perfect jump shot. Come on, man. That is picture perfect. Picture perfect jump shot. I was going to say something else. Oh, yeah, I've seen so many prospects over the years that, his size and his athletic ability and everything, and then you see him shoot the ball and you're like, ugh. 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 You know what I mean? You guys remember Andre Iguodala? I don't know if most of you are old enough to remember that, but him being drafted. But I remember him being drafted. And I was like, dude, this guy's jump shot is busted. You know what I mean? And then that's a player you got to try to, but we could teach him how to shoot. I think you can. It's so much harder to teach a player how to shoot than it is to teach a player who can already shoot how to shoot the right shots and when to shoot them and where to be on the floor and all of those things over the course of years of development. All I need to see is a 6'9" athlete who can pin the ball on the top of the backboard and has a picture-perfect jump shot off the dribble, right hand, left hand. That's all I need to see. I don't care what he did at Rutgers. I don't care what happened where, dude. I'm taking him. I'm taking him. Oh, that's me. I'm live. Look at that. Here is Ace Bailey's vertical leap. And VJ Edgecomb hit 40 inches, I believe. Standing vertical. All right, go, bro. Holy moly. Yeah. I'm taking him. Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, and Trey Johnson giving NBA teams one last look at their explosiveness. Oh, we got a little alley-oop windmill from Ace Bailey. Trey Johnson. Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper, 6'6", 220, man. What is this? What is this? At 6, Ace Bailey boosts exceptional shot-making prowess. One of the youngest prospects in the draft. Here's a little warm-up dunk at Rutgers. Oh, yeah, I'm taking him. Oh, yeah. Give me this. Give me all of this. Woo! I'm not saying draft a kid just because he can do a 360 dunk. We did that with Zaire Smith, or traded Mikal Bridges for him. What are we? Early verticals at the combine. Here we go. Cooper Flagg, 29-inch standing vertical, 35.5-inch max. Dylan Harper, 30.5-inch standing vertical, 32-inch max. VJ Edgecomb, 30-inch standing vertical, 38.5-inch max. Trey Johnson had a 32 standing. That's pretty crazy. And a 37.5-inch max. And Ace Bailey has a 27.5 standing and a 34.5-inch max. I don't think max vertical means a whole lot when it comes to playing in the NBA. I mean, Jokic can't jump over a Pepsi can. You know what I'm saying? But I've watched a lot of VJ Edgecomb highlights, and that kid can fly. And I think as we get closer to the draft, man, I'm going to have a little bit more difficult of a time deciding between Ace Bailey and VJ Edgecomb, because VJ Edgecomb, to me, I see a little bit of Anthony Edwards, man. I see a little bit of Anthony Edwards. Don't go crazy now. Don't go crazy now. I'm just saying ceiling. I see a little bit of Anthony Edwards and VJ Edgecomb. Here is Dylan Harper at the draft combine. Dylan Harper's jump shot is interesting to me. It's off to the side, kind of. Like a little bit to the side of his face and low. I don't think that's a really good jump shot, man. Like, I don't know, man. What do you guys think about that, man? It looks like a set shot. It's a low release. You know, there's tall defenders in the NBA, man. That shit's getting smacked. That shit's getting smacked into the second row right there. He needs to get that a little more in front of the forehead, a little higher up here, man. I don't know if Dylan Harper tries to change his shot mechanics. I'm also not too much of a component of changing your shot mechanics. But as a point guard, as a lead guard, which is, you know, what people are going to hope Dylan Harper is in the NBA, that jump shot doesn't wow me. You know, low release off to the side. I don't know. I mean, you know, it's not like Tyrese Halliburton has the prettiest jump shot in the world. If we draft Harper, who do we trade? I had this conversation yesterday with somebody called into the show yesterday and said that. I don't think I think we go right to like, oh, we have too many guards, we got to trade somebody. Why is that? Why does drafting Dylan Harper mean that we have to trade somebody? You know? Because Jared McCain's coming back for his second year, right? We don't know if Quentin Grimes re-signs. The Sixers can match any offer. We don't know if he's going to get an offer maybe that they don't want to match. But why do we have to trade somebody? You just draft Dylan Harper and you go play basketball and you see what happens. And then if him and Jared McCain are both, you know, then you could get into a De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton type of situation, you know, that the Sacramento Kings ended up in, and they ended up trading both of them. And now they have the Chicago Bulls leftovers, Zach LaVine and all those guys. But No, I just think you would just draft Dylan Harper and you would just go play basketball and see what everybody does, man. Maybe Harper comes off the bench his rookie season, you know? You'd have to really, these are, again, just prospects. I do think Dylan Harper and Cooper Flagg are the two NBA-ready players in the draft, but you'd still have to get them on the court and see what they can do in the NBA to say we need to trade somebody else. And the Sixers, again, I don't think the Sixers are winning anything in the next couple of years. So take the next couple of years developing young talent, continuing to try to rebuild the roster. Maybe Joel Embiid gets healthy, maybe not. Maybe Paul George stops being a bum, maybe not. And I just think you play ball, and maybe Harper comes off the bench his rookie season. Maybe Jared McCain's in the starting lineup. Maybe Jared McCain and Dylan Harper both come off the bench. Maybe Quentin Grimes and Tyrese Maxey are in the starting lineup. I don't know, but I don't think it's like we're drafting Dylan Harper. We got to trade a player right away. You can't stunt the growth of a top 3 pick. Is bringing a top 3 pick off the bench his rookie season stunting his growth? You know what I mean? Do y'all know how many games Kobe Bryant played his rookie season? How many games did Kobe Bryant play his rookie season? How many minutes per game? Kobe Bryant, minutes per game, rookie season. Kobe Bryant played 15 minutes per game as a rookie in 1996-97 at 18 years old. Did the LA Lakers stunt his growth by bringing him off the bench for 15 minutes a game at 18 years old? Kobe came out of high school, all right? He was still 18 years old and came off the bench for 15 minutes a game. If he went to college for 1 year and then came to the NBA at 19 years old and came off the bench for 15 minutes a game at 19 years old, did the Lakers stunt his growth? Come on, man. Players hit their prime when they're 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Kobe wasn't a top 3 pick? All right, bro. What fucking pick was he, dude? God! Well, actually, in the hell out of me, man. What pick in the draft was Kobe Bryant? Well, actually. Bad comparison. High school workouts and college workout demands are different levels. The point is, NBA players are in their prime at 25, 26, 27, 28 years old. Why are we harping so intently on how much playing time a player's going to get when they're 19? What are we doing here? That was over 25 years ago. Things are different now. No, they're not. Do you know the last player? Things are different now if you're Luka Doncic, sure, who was, again, playing Olympic basketball at 16 years old. How are you agreeing with me? You said that was 25 years ago. Things are different now. How is that agreeing with me? What does that mean? But anyway, we can agree, we can disagree. We're all friends. I love all you guys, but you guys are insane and you're wrong. And I'm right about everything all the time. That's just the way it is. OKC plays with a bunch of guards and forwards. Not saying we're OKC, but the guard lineup could work. OKC plays with a bunch of guards and forwards. The guard lineup could work. Yeah, I think people talk about height a little too much also. I do think that. I think people talk about height a little too much. You know, when they talk about, well, McCain's 6'3", Maxey's 6'2", Grimes is 6'4", if they would end up with Dylan Harper, he's 6'6". I mean, do we want everybody to be 7 feet tall? Like, really, you want a 7-foot center, right? Ideally, you want a 6'10", 6'11" stretch 4, right? Does your small forward have to be 6'8"? What if he's 6'5"? You know? What if he's 6'5" and athletic? Do you guys know that Anthony Edwards is 6'4"? Has anybody ever talked about Anthony Edwards is too short and it's a small lineup? You know? I don't think everybody has to be 6'8". I think you can play basketball with guys that are 6'5", 6'4", 6'6". Maybe we got so blinded by how short, fat, and slow the Sixers lineup was last season because they had Eric Gordon, who's 6'1" and fat, okay? They had Reggie Jackson, who's 6'2" and fat, and they had Kyle Lowry, who's 5'9" and fat. Okay? So I think we got a little bit blinded by the fact that we had fat midgets on the team last year. I think 6'4", 6'5" athletes is good to have. Paul George is the only playmaker on the team. Holy fuck, dude. Oh my God. What the hell does that mean, dude? All right, I was in a before I get out here, I was in a Twitter argument with somebody yesterday that was telling me Jared McCain is not a playmaker. Tyrese Maxey is not a playmaker. And he said that, you know, at best, I swear to God somebody said this, and this is why I log out of Twitter and I need to put it down. I need to put Twitter down until maybe forever. I hate it that much. But somebody said to me, at best, Jared McCain will be an SGA or Jalen Brunson level playmaker. And I was like, did you just say at best Jared McCain will be an MVP level point guard? And he said, my point is SGA and Jalen Brunson are not great playmakers. And I was like, okay. With that logic, SGA is leading his team as a title contender, and Jalen Brunson is leading his team as a title contender. So it's kind of rendering your argument about playmaking useless. Does everybody have to be prime James Harden? What are we talking about with this playmaking conversation? Does everybody have to be Chris Paul, James Harden, Mike Bibby, Jason Kidd, John Stockton? Does everybody have to be the best playmaker to ever play the game to have success? I don't understand. I watch Jared McCain tape and I see him run pick and rolls. I see him hit the center on the pick and pop. I see him make the skip pass when the defense rotates to the center on the pick and pop. Is that not playmaking? I see him drive and kick. Is that not playmaking? I see him drive down the lane and throw no-look alley-oops. Is that not playmaking? I see him drive down the lane and fake alley-oop and lay it in with his other hand. Is that not playmaking? What is playmaking? I don't get it. How is Jared McCain not a playmaker? How is Tyrese Maxey not a playmaker? Tyrese Maxey had a game last season with 14 assists. 14. He had another game with 12 assists last year. How is Tyrese Maxey not a playmaker? I think it's because he has the ability to score at a high level. So then you assume that he's not a playmaker. Does everybody have to be pass first? I had this argument with Greg Melly during the draft lottery, and I was like, okay, is Tyrese Halliburton a playmaker? And he said, yeah, but he's giving you 25 a night. Okay, so he's a playmaker who can score. Is that not a good thing? Are you only a playmaker if you can't score? Is Eric Snow the best playmaker ever? What is a playmaker, man? Paul George is the only playmaker on the team. Y'all just be popping off with the most random shit. I think you guys sometimes are you just look at your keyboard and you're like, you just tell your fingers, you're like, just fucking just type things, dude. Just type things. Paul George is the only, Jared McCain's not a, Cooper Flagg is gonna be a role player. Ace Bailey sucks. The best player in the draft is Con Kneppel. Anyway, I love you guys, even though you're wrong all the time. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out. This has been another edition of Run It Back Philly Live. I don't even really know what we talked about in this show, but it was fun. Thank you for being here. I'll be live again tomorrow at 12. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're brand new. And thank you for being here. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're brand new. And oh man, y'all have a good day.